We're down to the final checklists and finishing touches for the Montlake Lid Project on 520, and you thought you'd never live to see it happen, and you have. Here's Chris.
Well, not yet. There's
Okay,
nothing's over until it's over, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
There are just 3 more full closures of 520 related to the Montlake Lid Project left going forward, and one of them is this weekend. Full closures are needed to test all the systems inside the new lid and to finish the direct access ramps that will take transit up to the new station at Montlake. The Washington Department of Transportation's Steve Pierce says that finishing work is vital in making sure that everything is functioning properly.
Commissioning is verifying that all those systems work. The lighting system works, the fire suppression system works. Does the drainage work? After there's been foam in case of a fire on 520. We have to make sure that this all works.
Pierce says other parts of the corridor will also use this upcoming weekend closure to get some work done.
There is some drilling work way to the west that the Portage Bay Bridge and Roanoke Lid folks are going to be doing, that they need an empty roadway to do that. There's some sign bridge work. There's lots of little finishing touches that need to happen this weekend.
520 will be closed in both directions from 11 p.m. Friday night until early Monday morning. The closure is at I-5 on the west side and 92nd on the east side, so that means there will be no access to Montlake from 520. The trail is also going to be closed. So when is this project officially going to be over?
That really what we're looking for realistically to have the lid operationally, we're looking at the end of October.
Drivers should get their second lane on the ramp to southbound I-5 a few weeks ahead of that, which is great. But there is a change in the timing for that reversible ramp to the express lanes. That is not going to be opening anytime soon. They thought they were going to open it as soon as it was finished, right when the Montlake thing got together. But the Portage Bay work will actually be in the way.
The crews need that for some staging. They need that for to have traffic going through there would be a safety issue.
Once the Montlake project finishes, attention will turn to the final piece of the 520 expansion, which is that final mile from Montlake over Portage Bay to I-5. And even though that project is $700 million over budget, at least that's what the price tag came into after their estimation, the financing hasn't been finalized for that. Even though those very important things as it relates to a budget haven't been finalized, work is already underway on that section over Portage Bay.
As far as construction, it's full speed ahead. They are working day and night on that project. We just had a groundbreaking last week.
Up to the legislature to figure out how they're going to come up with the money to fund that, but work is underway. Now, construction on that final piece of 520 will take about 7 or 8 years, so we're not out of the woods yet. Detours, delays, and closures are not going anywhere, but the Montlake Lid should wrap up here in about 6 weeks.
So this becomes the missing link. This is the final link, Portage Bay.
Correct.
7 years, truly, to fix that?
Yeah, because what they have to do first is, if you think about it, is they basically have to build a trestle alongside the freeway, so that way they can use that as a construction platform to build the new bridge that's going to go along adjacent to the existing one. Mm-hmm. So they have to do all that, plus digging in Portage Bay and putting stuff through Portage Bay. There's a lot of stuff going in there as well.
They're not taking out the old one then?
No.
Oh, okay, good. So that will get reused.
That's my understanding, again, at this point. And maybe one
recycling.
Of the,
okay, I like that. So that means they can keep some traffic flowing while they do this.
That is correct. And then, of course, we also have the new Roanoke Lid, everything being redone here right above us here at the radio station.
We're getting a lid, too?
Yeah, lid at Roanoke. Yeah, they're going to cover that whole section there, right, kind of between the fire station on the north side and the right. Yeah, that's going to be lidded
I did not know
as well.
That.
Yeah.
So it's going to reconnect the neighborhood?
Yes, it is. That's the plan. So there's a lid there. Plus, we'll have that reversible lane going down into the express lanes, which I said is now delayed, or they're not going to open that. So there's a lot going on there on that little section. I mean, it's only, about 4,500 feet. It's less than a mile.
Okay, but if they can lid that, then why? I mean, you've been a major opponent of lidding the rest of it along, Lakeview. Right.
Well, I'm not a big fan of
the big scar through downtown.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of lidding downtown just to, make real estate people happy.
Yeah, but that brings in money, which could pay for the project, don't you think?
Yeah, it's true. So I don't know. If you
create downtown, imagine the number of acres of downtown real estate be owned by the state, which you could sell off assuming people ever come back to their offices.
Right, exactly.
And pay for it.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm a good fan. I'm a fan of limited lidding.
Limited
I'm not
lidding?
sure if covering an entire freeway. I don't know, and I'm not sure why I have such an aversion to that. I'm not sure, but we will get a lid at Roanoke, and it'll be fun.
Well, that's nice.
At least, again, they still have to figure out where they're getting that extra $700 million for the project cost, but I'm sure it'll all come out of us one way or another.
Yes, one way or another. It always does. It is 6:53 real-time traffic from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Here's Chris.
And we are definitely pushing towards our first peak.